Incredible 7-year-old with a broken arm carries sister through woods discover the heartwarming tale. Ethan was a pint-sized powerhouse, bursting with a fiery spirit that seemed twice his size. He had an adventurous heart, always ready to dive into the next quest with his younger sister, Lily, right by his side. Their small town buzzed with life like a warm summer breeze, families gathering for picnics, laughter ringing through backyard barbecues. Everything was perfect on that sunny afternoon when the picnic mishap struck. As Ethan chased after a runaway frisbee, a tumble landed him awkwardly on the ground, pain erupting in his arm like a bolt of lightning. The unmistakable crack echoed louder than the shouts of joy in the background. As Mom and Dad rushed to his side, Ethan's gaze shifted, catching a glimpse of Lily darting further into the woods, her laughter far away, with his arm awkwardly strapped to his chest. A wave of worry washed over him. "Ethan, I'm okay," Lily called, but the innocent confidence in her voice only grew into a distant echo as she wandered deeper into the thicket. No way was he letting her go alone. He pushed through the fear gnawing at his insides, knew he had to save her. How could he let her down? The sun dipped lower, shadows creeping in like sneaky thieves. Ethan wriggled through the underbrush, feeling every branch scrape against his skin. "It's gonna be okay, Lily," he said, trying to sound brave. She clung to him tighter, her small hands trembling. Ethan's heart raced, remembering how his dad always said the biggest strength often comes from the smallest of bodies. Every step was filled with toil, their ordeal echoing the tales of the brave veterans who frequented the diner. Those stories flowed through his veins, sparking his resolve like a flame igniting. Before long, they reached a roaring river, bubbling chaos that mirrored Ethan's racing heart. His breath caught in his throat, uncertainty clawing at him. He knew crossing was the only way back home. The thought of letting Lily down knocked the wind out of him, yet her trusting eyes ignited a spark that pulled at his gut. He felt the weight of responsibility, a bond straining against the pressures of the universe. "We can do this," he declared, though each word trembled under the weight of fear. The cries of their worried parents echoed in the distance, battling the torrent that raged before them. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Taking a deep breath, Ethan looked at Lily one more time, their eyes locked, a flicker of hope dancing between them. He could feel the weight of the forest, the looming dread of failure, yet couldn't he shake the glimmer of determination blooming in his chest. Just as they prepared to leap, the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky, casting a flickering light on their uncertain path ahead. Would their courage be enough to reach safety? As the river's roar filled the air, Ethan held his sister close, ready to take a step into the unknown, where adventure and fear tangled in dance, waiting for a hero to emerge. Ethan's heart hammered in his chest as the cold mist from the rushing river whispered against his skin. He could feel the cool evening air growing heavier, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The sound of the water was like a chorus of wild thrashing, threatening to swallow them whole. He tightened his grip around Lily, her small body quaking with a mix of excitement and fear. "Stick close to me," he whispered, his voice barely rising above the roar. The weight of her trust felt both like a gift and an anchor, pulling at him even as doubt crept into his mind. "Okay," she replied, her eyes wide, reflecting the glimmers of fading light that peeked through the trees. Without another word, Ethan stepped forward, feeling the damp earth beneath his feet shift. The water churned, frothing against the stones, like a wild animal ready to leap. He took a shaky breath, letting the richness of the moment ground him. Out here, all he had was Lily and this challenge before them. They were lost, but they were not alone. 1, 2, 3, he shouted, pushing off the muddy bank. For a heartbeat, Time melted away. Ethan and Lily sprang through the air, momentarily weightless, just like in those dreams where anything could happen. And then they landed hard against the slick stones of the riverbank. The shock of the cold water surged around them, an icy embrace wrapping around their legs. They went tumbling, braces of grass and mud mingling with the splash of the river. Ethan's mind raced frantically as he staggered, clinging to Lily, who was caught in the wild currents of water. She stumbled, gasping, but Ethan quickly pulled her to him, securing her with his good arm. "I got you. I won't let go," he shouted, determination roaring within him. They maneuvered their way, the current strong, but Ethan's spirit was stronger. Each step was a new battle, not just with the water, but with the thoughts swirling in his mind. What if they slipped? What if they were swept away? But there was something pure in seeing Lily so close. Her trust in him was like a lifeline, freeing him from the match of fear. They navigated the stretch of river, inching across slick rocks and clambering up the muddy incline on the opposite side. Clutching gnarled roots and slipping over mossy stones, they finally broke through onto the bank, exhausted, breathless, and more alive than ever. As they stumbled to higher ground, Ethan looked at Lily, both of them gasping for air amid exhausted laughter. "We did it!" he exclaimed, the thrill of survival exploding in his heart. Lily's face lit up, her smile radiating joy. "We were like heroes. Just like Dad said." She squealed, and for a fleeting moment, the fear melted away, swallowed by triumphant relief. But with that exuberance came a twinge of worry. What if they still weren't safe? The trees loomed ahead, dark and intimidating, giving the air a density that pressed down on them. They were not out of the woods yet. As Ethan looked deeper into the forest, shadows flickered like memories half-formed. "We should keep moving," he said, his voice unsteady with determination. The call of the unknown tugged at him, a siren drawing them further into the dark. Would the next steps lead them home, or deeper into danger? Little did Ethan know, the greatest challenges lay ahead, waiting to shape their bond in ways they never could have anticipated. But behind every corner in the woods lingered mysteries, and with each step forward, a new adventure was ready to unfold. The shadows of the trees drew closer as they pressed on, the fading light whispering secrets of the night. Ethan took a moment to catch his breath, his heart still racing from the wild rush of their escape. He glanced sideways at Lily, who was skipping ahead, her laughter a bright note echoing amid the murk. "Hey, wait up," he called, his voice warmer now, less burdened by fear. He could hardly believe they had made it through the river. Maybe, just maybe, they could navigate the dark woods ahead as well. Lily stopped, turning back to him with that infectious smile. What if there's a treasure hidden in the woods? She mused, her imagination already painting pictures of gold and jewels. "Or maybe just a lost dog," Ethan replied, managing a smirk as he limped towards her, the throb in his arm reminding him of the initial pain. It was a small price to pay for her laughter, which felt like sunshine breaking through the canopy of gloom. "Let us find it," she exclaimed, her excitement undeterred by the uncertain terrain. Ethan ruffled her hair, marveling at her spirit. How could she remain so vibrant, so full of wonder, while they were truly lost? As they plunged deeper among the towering trees, a rustle nearby caught Ethan's attention. He froze, pulling Lily close as shadows danced around them. The sound had been light but sharp, sharp enough to ignite the familiar stir of fear within him. "What was that?" Lily whispered, her eyes widening. "I don't know, but stay close," Ethan replied, scanning the darkness with a steady seriousness, trying to remain calm for her sake. They carried on at a slower pace, every snap of a twig and flicker of movement heightening the tension. Minutes felt like hours as the forest thickened around them, making the path ahead seem endless. Yet through the unrelenting uncertainty, something tugged at Ethan's heart, a flicker of resolve. If he had to shelter Lily from every challenge around them, he would rise to it. Maybe they could find the way back home together after all. "Ethan," she said softly, yanking him away from his thoughts. He looked down at her, waiting. "What if we don't find our way out? What if we have to spend the night here?" He knelt next to her, taking her small hands in his. If we have to stay, we'll be fine. It might be scary, but remember what we did by the river? We faced it together. I won't let anything happen to you. Lily's expression softened with encouragement, though she still seemed unsure. Her trust felt both heavy and grounding, and Ethan could only hope he was leading them deeper into a trap. Minutes more passed, and just when the shadows started forming doubts in Ethan's mind, they stumbled upon a small clearing. The moon broke free from the clouds, casting a silver blanket over the soft ground. A small stream trickled nearby, and the air felt lighter, almost friendlier. Look! It's beautiful! Lily exclaimed as she dashed away from him, captivated by the sight. Wait! Ethan called, stepping after her with diligence, his heart settling at the vibrant scene. Could this be a sign they were moving in the right direction? He took a deep breath, trying to stay present in the moment, cherishing the fact that Lily had a chance to experience this wonder, no matter how lost they were. As the warmth settled in the clearing, a deeper feeling took root in Ethan's mind. They weren't just lost in the woods, they were on an unexpected adventure together. They were becoming resilient. They were fighting against fear and darkness, and with each passing moment, their bond was growing stronger. Maybe there really is treasure here. Ethan said as he watched Lily dance around, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the moon. Just then, a faint rustle came from the brush beyond, and they both stilled, hearts racing again. What if it's a bear? Lily whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Or maybe it's the adventure we've been waiting for, Ethan murmured, turning slowly toward the sound, curiosity battling caution. What awaited them just beyond the bushes? Ethan took a cautious step forward, gripping Lily's hand a little tighter. The rustling grew louder, and a sense of dread began to creep in. He swallowed hard, his mind racing between wild thoughts: a bear, a wolf, or maybe something even scarier. But he steeled himself, reminding himself that he had to be brave for Lily. Stay behind me, he whispered, his voice barely audible. Lily nodded, eyes glued to the thicket. Together, they moved closer to the noise, which seemed almost playful now, a soft crackling mixed with the faint sound of laughter. Ethan's heart dropped at the oddness of it. Lily, do you hear that? He asked, confusion lacing his words. Yes. She exclaimed, her face lighting up with curiosity. With each step, the sound of laughter twisted around them, drawing them in, pulling away the heavy cloak of fear. Suddenly, out from the bushes bounded a creature small, furry, and with floppy ears. It was a little dog, tail wagging furiously. Oh my gosh! Lily shrieked, releasing Ethan's hand and running towards the dog. It yapped excitedly, darting around her, its happiness infectious. Ethan couldn't help but let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. Hey there, little guy. He called, kneeling down to meet the bundle of fur. Where did you come from? Lily crouched beside him, her fears melted away in an instant. He must be lost too. She said, grinning ear to ear as she gently petted the pup. What should we name him? The dog, oblivious to their plight, hopped from Lily's lap to Ethan's and back again, the warmth of its fuzzy body adding a splash of comfort to the night's chill. For a fleeting moment, the reality of their situation faded. Here they were, stranded in the woods, yet sharing a bubble of pure joy with this newfound friend. Maybe he can help us? Ethan suggested, a hint of mischief in his voice. Lily giggled, like a treasure-hunting dog. Their adventure suddenly seemed brighter. With the moonlight showering down on them and the dog playfully tugging at Lily's shoelaces, laughter bubbled between them. They needed this sweet moment to remind them they could still find joy, even when times were tough. But as the dog paused and tilted its head, barking softly into the dark, Ethan's mind jumped back to their situation. Okay, buddy, lead the way, he said, clapping his hands together, rallying the courage they both needed. They stood up, the dog now trotting ahead, tail high, as if he knew the way out. With Lily's hand in his, Ethan felt a renewed surge of hope. However, just as they began to follow, the laughter faded, replaced by a subtle unease in the air. A low growl rumbled from the shadows, and the joyful excitement of their new friend came to a sudden halt. "Ethan," Lily whispered, fear creeping back into her gaze. Ethan nodded, his heart pounding again, but this time it was different. This wasn't just their own fear, it was a test of everything they had pushed through together. They had the spirit of adventure behind them, but there was a deeper, darker secret waiting beyond. As shadows shifted around them and uneasy sounds filled the air, they stood at the crossroads of excitement and dread. How deep did this adventure go? What else lurked just beneath the surface of their newfound joy? "Maybe the real treasure is just ahead," Ethan breathed, staring intently into the darkness as his senses sharpened, curiosity pulsing through his veins. What would they discover next, hidden in the depths of the woods? Ethan felt the weight of silence press upon them, each heartbeat seeming to echo louder in his ears. The little dog, now crouched low with ears perked, signaled that something was not right. Lily's excitement faded, replaced by the same tension in the air that swept through the trees. "Maybe we should go back," Lily suggested, her voice trembling slightly. It was the first time he heard her hesitate. Ethan wanted to reassure her, but the low growl that reverberated around them was growing closer. "No, let's stay quiet for a moment," he replied, gripping her hand tighter. Peering into the darkness, he scanned for movement, struggling to reassure himself. The trees loomed like giants, their branches silhouetted against the faint moonlight. Suddenly, a shadow darted through the underbrush, and Ethan's heart raced. "Did you see that?" he whispered urgently. "Yes." Lily's eyes widened, a mix of fear and curiosity dancing in them. Just then, the little dog barked again, louder this time, breaking the silence. The sound sent a ripple of fear through Ethan's stomach. Whatever was out there had caught the dog's attention. "Shoo, buddy. We need to be quiet," Ethan urged. As if obeying his command, the dog fell silent, and an uneasy stillness descended. But the shimmering eyes that peered at them from the opposing thicket were unmistakable. Something was watching. "There are eyes in the dark," Ethan murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "We need a plan." Lily's grip tightened, and her small fingers felt fragile against his. He had to think quickly. "What if we just move?" Slowly and quietly. Nodding, they began to back away, step by careful step. The dog stayed close, occasionally glancing back toward the shadows, as if he sensed their urgency. Just then, the low growl escalated an unmistakable, threatening rumble that sent shivers down their spines. It wasn't just any animal, it sounded primal, filled with emotion, echoing with hunger and want. "Ethan, I'm scared," Lily admitted, her voice trembling like a leaf. He shot her a reassuring smile, though fear clawed at his own heart. "I know. But we can't stop now. We have to stick together." Suddenly, the shadow lunged from the bushes, revealing itself to be a massive, shaggy wolf. Its eyes gleamed with a wildness Ethan hadn't seen before. Staring down the beast, time seemed to stop. The air turned electric. The wolf wasn't only looking at them but studying them, weighing their fears as if tasting their very spirits. "Get behind me!" Ethan shouted, instinctively stepping in front of Lily. The dog whined softly, but he didn't move away, staying close, sensing the danger. They were frozen in momentary disbelief, fear keeping them rooted to the spot. Just then, the wolf stopped, tilting its head, nostrils flaring, eyes narrowing. It seemed almost curious instead of aggressive. Ethan took a shaky breath, glancing at Lily. "It's okay, maybe it's not here to hurt us." But before he could finish his thought, the wolf let out a low, sorrowful howl that echoed through the woods, resonating deep within Ethan's chest, stirring something profound. Suddenly, they weren't just in a fight for survival, they were in a moment of understanding. Would this creature challenge them, or could it point them toward the truth hidden in the darkness? "Ethan?" Lily whispered, awe momentarily replacing her fear. The wolf moved closer, curiosity mixing with caution in its gaze. Was there more to this creature than what met the eye? As they stood there, caught between fear and fascination, Ethan felt a spark of bravery stir within him. What lay ahead could unveil a transformative journey that neither of them expected. But could they trust this wild spirit to lead them to safety or danger? The wolf stepped forward, inviting them into uncharted territory. Ethan took a deep breath, heart racing. Let us follow him. What awaited them in the depths of the woods? Would they unravel the mysteries hidden in the shadows or become part of the wild lore themselves? Ethan took a cautious step forward, the wolf observing him all the while. The air hung thick with tension, but beneath that was a pulse of something deeper: curiosity, maybe even a faint promise. He glanced back at Lily, who looked ready to bolt yet was equally entranced by the enigmatic creature before them. Stay close, he whispered firmly, eyes darting between the wolf and Lily. The little dog, still at his side, began to edge forward, tail raised, emboldened by some unknown instinct. The wolf tilted its head, as if beckoning them, and Ethan felt a mixture of trepidation and intrigue creep into his heart. It was as if they could communicate across the chasm of fear that had gripped them moments before. This was not a wild animal in a frenzy, but a guardian of the woods, pleading for understanding. He took another step, and to his surprise, Lily did too. "Are we really doing this?" she asked, her voice steadying, though laced with disbelief. "I think we have to," Ethan replied, the words tumbling out before he could second-guess them. "Let us see where it leads." Together, they moved cautiously toward the wolf, each step shrouded in the mystery of the night. As they advanced, the shadows danced around them, playing tricks on their minds. The forest loomed in a tapestry of rustling leaves and whispering winds, each sound amplifying their vulnerability. But beneath the fear, a bubbling excitement surged within Ethan. They were on the brink of discovery. Ahead, the wolf paused, glancing back at them and then moving deeper into the thicket. It glanced over its shoulder, urging them on with a knowing look. "Should we?" Lily asked, hesitating slightly but with a glimmer of trust sharing space with her doubt. "There's something important here." "I can feel it," Ethan reassured her, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. With a deep breath, he led the way into the shadows, the little dog following closely behind. The moment they passed through the underbrush, a new noise filled the air, not the growl they had feared, but faint sounds echoing like a distant melody. As they ventured deeper, brighter patches of moonlight pierced through the canopy, illuminating a small clearing ahead. When they stepped into the moonlit space, Ethan's breath caught in his throat. The landscape unfolded like a secret garden. Wildflowers glimmered in the silver light, and sparkling orbs of light floated gently through the air like tiny pixies. The wolf stood at the edge, watching them, its posture relaxed as though it had guided them to a sacred place. While Lily's voice barely broke the serene stillness, her eyes wide with wonder. She released Ethan's hand just long enough to kneel down and reach out toward a glistening flower. "It's beautiful." But as the magic of the moment settled over them, Ethan caught a flicker of movement from the corner of his eye. A shadow shifted behind the trees, and for a split second, he saw more eyes, more than just the wolf's. A pack of wolves, their fur shimmering under the moonlight, more curious than threatening. His heart raced again, but this time not from fear. It was anticipation, bubbling with wonder. "What are they doing?" Lily asked, her innocent curiosity infectious. "Maybe they want us to see something or tell us something," Ethan said, a deep understanding brushing against his mind. The pack began to move as one, weaving to and fro, taunting him to follow. As if sensing their hesitation, the lead wolf beckoned them once more. "Shall we?" he asked Lily, who nodded, her grip tightening around a small flower she had picked. With every step toward the pack, Ethan felt a surge of empowerment. They weren't lost anymore. Whatever magic was at play in this mystical piece of the forest was guiding them somewhere profound. But as they approached, the path shifted subtly, leading into a collection of ancient stones that stood like sentinels, whispers from a time long past. Something urgent bubbled just beneath the surface. "What do you think is in there?" Lily asked, her eyes wide with a mix of courage and apprehension. Ethan's heart raced as they reached the entrance of the stone circle, a feeling of destiny washing over him. "Let us find out." Before he could finish, the lead wolf howled again. Its sound, rich with emotion, echoed through the woods. As it faded, silence enveloped them, pregnant with possibilities. What lay within? What revelations awaited them beyond the threshold? Could they truly unravel the stories that danced in the shadows, or would they find themselves lost to the wilderness forever? As they stood before the ancient stone circle, the weight of the forest pressed against them. The air felt charged, almost electric, as if something momentous was about to unfold. Ethan glanced at Lily, who still held the shimmering flower tightly in her tiny fist, her eyes wide and brimming with a mixture of fear and awe. "Do you feel that?" Ethan asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lily nodded slowly, the glow of the moon reflecting on her face, making her look almost ethereal. "It feels special. Like we're not just supposed to be here." The lead wolf glanced back, its eyes reflecting an otherworldly understanding. It stood poised, a guardian waiting for the chosen ones to take their step forward. Encouraged by her little brother's steadfastness, Lily took a small breath and stepped closer to Ethan. With a shared resolve, they crossed the threshold of the stone circle. Instantly, a wave of warmth surrounded them, an embrace of light wrapped in darkness. Whispers filled the air, soft and melodic, weaving through the branches above like secrets shared between old friends. Ethan felt shivers race through him, but not from fear. More like a gentle reminder of all the stories his grandmother used to tell, stories of magic hidden in the everyday, of adventures waiting just around the bend. This was one of those moments. As they moved deeper into the circle, the ground beneath their feet felt different. The grass was lush, as if it had never been walked upon before. Small animals peeked out from their hiding spots, drawn by the presence of the newcomers. A rabbit with fur like snow sat quietly, observing them with bright eyes, while a curious deer lingered at the edge of the clearing. "Look!" Lily cried, pointing with excitement. "They're not scared of us." Ethan couldn't help but smile. There was a sense of connection in this moment, as if they had all been waiting for this night. Suddenly, the howl of the lead wolf sliced through the air again, followed by the others, a harmonious call that resonated through the woods. It felt like an invitation wrapped in a challenge, a call to understand what had been lost and what could yet be found. "What do you think they want to show us?" Ethan mused. "Maybe the stories?" Lily suggested, wide-eyed. "The ones we can't see?" The pack moved, joining together in a synchronized dance around the stones, their movements fluid and mesmerizing. Each step seemed to create a rhythm, echoing the heartbeat of the forest. Without thinking, Ethan and Lily began to sway along, caught in the enchanting spell of this magical display. But then, as they danced, Ethan felt a strange pull. The stones loomed overhead, casting shadowy shapes against the night sky. A deep humming vibration surged through him, almost like a voice whispering secrets of the past. He stumbled slightly, the sensation overwhelming as he reached out, touching the cool, aged surface of one of the massive stones. In an instant, images flooded his mind, a tapestry of the forest's history, lives intertwined with the earth, moments of triumph and sorrow, love and loss. Glimpses of wolves moving through time, their spirits bound to the woods, defending it against darkness. And there, within it all, he saw Lily, bright and brave, intertwined with the very essence of the wilderness. "Ethan. What's happening?" Her voice sliced through the haze, snapping him back. "I don't know, but it's showing me something." He felt helpless yet exhilarated, powerless yet charged with purpose. The howling picked up again, a chorus rising to a fever pitch, filling the air around them like a compelling narrative begging to be understood. Ethan's pulse quickened, and he turned to Lily, who was watching him, her eyes mirroring the depth of his thoughts. "Whatever it is," Ethan breathed, "I think we're meant to understand it together." Just as he finished speaking, the light around the stones brightened, illuminating the forest in a warm glow. The wolves paused in their dance, their eyes reflecting the magic suspended in the moment. Ethan realized that they had stumbled into something far more significant than they had ever imagined. "What do we do next?" Lily asked, both excitement and trepidation weaving through her words. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of generations in that moment. "We listen," he replied, determination simmering in his chest. They had crossed a threshold, and now the true journey was just beginning. What lessons awaited them in this enchantment? What truths lay hidden beneath the whispers of the forest? The night held countless secrets, and as they stood on the cusp of discovery, the journey was only just beginning. The light from the stones wrapped around them like a warm blanket, bathing the clearing in ethereal hues. Ethan stood still, his heart racing as the howling subsided into soft whimpers. The wolves seemed to sense a shift, a new energy emerging, as if they were witnesses to a reunion of sorts, a reunion that had been brewing for centuries. "Can you see them?" Lily's eyes sparkled with wonder. She stepped forward, drawn to the magic pulsating in the air. Ethan watched her, amazed at the bravery in her heart, even as her small frame trembled with anticipation. I think I can feel them," he replied, uncertain yet oddly exhilarated. "It's like a story is beginning to unfurl." The rabbit hopped forward, its snow-white fur shining in the moonlight, and paused at Lily's feet, as if it, too, understood that this was a moment to be cherished. She bent down, reaching out, fingers brushing against the soft fur. "It feels so real," she said, all lacing her voice. Ethan's gaze shifted back to the stone in front of him, the symbols carved deep into its surface, glowing ever so slightly. Each etched line whispered tales from times long past. He could almost hear the echoes of the forest, ancient and wise. Suddenly, a surge of clarity hit him. "Those stones, they hold the stories of our ancestors," Ethan exclaimed, realization dawning. "And we're here to understand them, to bring their stories back to life." Lily looked up, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "But what if they're too heavy for us to carry?" Ethan felt a lump form in his throat at her honesty. "I think it won't be about carrying them. It's about sharing them. We have to let the forest speak through us." As if reacting to his words, the wolves began to dance again, their graceful movements now intertwined with an unseen rhythm, a blend of sound and light that pulsed through Ethan's veins. It was like feeling a heartbeat not only in his chest but all around him, resonating with the earth itself. "Ethan! Look!" Lily pointed. The stones flickered, and an image emerged, a clearing from the past, a roaring fire surrounded by figures that danced and sang under the same stars above them. They were changing, weaving in and out of time, and for a moment, Ethan felt as if he were stepping into that memory. A rush of emotions flooded him, each one more potent, more vibrant than the last. Laughter, joy, grief, and love all wrapped together in a canvas of interconnected hearts. "This is what it means to be connected," he murmured, almost to himself. "But how do we bring those stories back?" Lily questioned, her brow furrowed in concentration. Ethan's breath caught. "We tell them," he whispered. "We share them with everyone. Our friends, our family." The wind stirred, and the wolves simultaneously glanced towards the forest, their eyes igniting with urgency. The pack leader howled again, a call to arms, shaking Ethan from the dreamlike trance that had enveloped him. A realization struck him like thunder. What if there are more waiting for us? More stories that need to be told. He turned back to Lily, who now clutched the shimmering flower like it was the key to their quest. "We have to go deeper into the woods. The heart of the forest is calling us." With a resolute nod, determination sparked in Lily's gaze. Together, they took a step toward the shadows beyond the stone circle, ignited by a sense of purpose, their hearts in sync with the dance of the wild. What awaited them in the depths of the forest? What voices still lingered in the trees, waiting to be heard? The journey was unfolding, drawing them further into the heart of the mystery, and as they moved, the forest hummed with life. Would they be able to uncover the truths that lay hidden in its embrace? Ethan and Lily plunged deeper into the embrace of the forest, the shadows wrapping around them like a shroud of mystery. It was quiet now, the distant whispers of the wolves fading into the background. As they walked, the air grew thicker with a palpable energy, humming under their feet. Every step felt charged with anticipation. "Do you think anyone else has ever been this deep?" Lily asked, glancing around nervously. Her voice was barely above a whisper, soft as the rustling leaves. "I don't know," Ethan replied, trying to keep the tremor out of his voice. "But I feel like it's important. Like we're meant to be here." Just then, a flickering light caught Ethan's eye, shimmering in the distance. It danced between the trees, almost teasingly withdrawing as they approached, pulling them further into the heart of the woods. "There. Do you see that?" He pointed, a mix of excitement and fear swirling in his chest. Lily's eyes widened. "We should follow it." They crept forward, heartbeats racing, watching the light bob and weave just ahead, illuminating their path. But as they went further, a chill swept through the air, and the atmosphere shifted. The enchanting glow seemed to carry with it an unsettling aura. Ethan paused, uncertainty creeping in. "Wait, do you feel that?" he asked, his pulse quickening. Lily nodded, her brow furrowed. "It's strange. Like something is watching us." As they stood in place, the flickering light suddenly expanded into a glow that enveloped them. Images swirled in the air, a mosaic of memories intertwined with the whispers of the ancient forest, children laughing, families gathered around the fire, a sorrowful goodbye, and moments of triumph echoing through time. And then, there was a roar, a sound that vibrated through Ethan's bones. A dark figure emerged from the shadows, large and powerful, its eyes glistening with an ancient wisdom. The air grew heavier, thick with tension, and both Ethan and Lily took a step back, uncertainty clouding their minds. "Who dares disturb the heart of this sacred place?" The figure growled, its voice resonating like thunder. Panic flashed through Ethan. "We're not here to disturb anything. We want to understand." He stepped forward, heart racing, desperate to prove their good intentions. "Understand? Or control?" The figure's eyes narrowed, assessing them with a penetrating gaze. "Many have come before you, seeking power over the stories they do not know." Lily clutched her flower tighter, breathing softly in the brief silence that followed as she exchanged a glance with Ethan. They were just kids, driven by curiosity and a sense of purpose, not by greed. "We want to share the stories," she said softly, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "We want to listen." The figure hesitated, and for a split second, Ethan saw a flicker of warmth in its eyes. "Listening is the first step. But remember, every story comes with a price. Are you prepared for what you may find?" "What do you mean?" Ethan asked, his heart thudding louder with each word. The figure stepped closer, the light swelling around them as reality bent, revealing hidden truths of the forest that flooded their senses. Shadows shifted, and echoes of lost souls began to rise, their cries melding with the rustling of the leaves. Ethan and Lily shared an uncertain glance. Would they uncover the stories that lay nestled in the shadows? Or would they be lost like those before them? With a deep breath and a shared nod, they stood at the precipice of discovery, knowing that every choice ahead would bind them closer to the truth and possibly to each other. What would they find when they dared to listen? Would they be ready to face the darkness of the past to bring light back into the world? As the figure's gaze bore into them, the path ahead shimmered with possibilities. Ethan's heart raced as the figure loomed closer, its massive presence darkening the air. Every fiber of his being urged him to turn and run, but Lily's steady hand in his grasp kept him anchored. They had come too far, retreat wasn't an option now. In that moment, he understood the choice they were making, to unlock the stories of the forest or remain a fleeting memory, lost within its shadows. "We want to understand," he repeated, his voice gaining strength. "We're here to listen." The figure paused, its piercing gaze assessing the children before it. The air crackled with tension as they awaited a response. Finally, a rumble echoed through the clearing, a sound that resonated not just in their ears but quaked through their very souls. "Then step forward, children of the earth," it commanded, a hint of softness wrapped in its firmness. "But be warned, the tales you uncover come entwined with truths you might not be prepared for." With a shared resolve, Ethan and Lily stepped forward, spurred by the desire to know, to carry forth the voice of the forest back into the world. The shimmering light thickened around them, enveloping them in warmth and whispers. Images began to swirl anew, cascading back through time. They saw families building their lives, thriving amidst challenges, joy mingling with sorrow, laughter echoing through the trees, and time passing as the woods nurtured their every story. Then, suddenly, the joy dissipated, replaced by shadows that crept into the frame. They witnessed how humans had forgotten their connection to nature, taking more than they gave, hackings that twisted the woods into scars, causing pain to ripple through the forest's heart. Ethan felt the weight of each fragment of history. "We can change this," he whispered, feeling tears prick his eyes. "The past didn't have to dictate the future. We can remind everyone of these stories." "Then you must take them back," the figure replied, its voice a mixture of thunder and blessing. "Share not just their victories but the lessons forged in loss. Those who listen often hold the key to healing." Lily looked up at Ethan, her eyes shining with determination. "We will. We promise." As those words left her mouth, the glowing light pulsed, drawing them into a whirlwind of emotion and understanding. They felt the forest's pain, its anguish, yet saw the hope buried beneath it. With every heartbeat, they became more entwined with its spirit. Suddenly, the clearing began to shift, the ancient stones backlit by a spectacular dawn breaking through the canopy above. The bright light scattered shadows like whispers on the wind, lighting a path ahead. "Go forth," the figure said, stepping back to allow them passage. "Let your voices become a bridge connecting past and future. Forever remember this moment, the forest will always guide you." Ethan nodded, tears of gratitude spilling down his cheeks as he pulled Lily close. "Thank you. We won't forget." Taking a steadying breath, he led the way as they stepped onto the path marked by shimmering dew, the forest alive with color and sound around them. They wandered past trees adorned with blossoms that seemed to beckon them forward, their branches whispering promises of joy and shared stories. With every step toward home, Ethan and Lily felt the weight of their adventure swell in their hearts. They weren't just survivors of the woods, they were its bearers, the messengers chosen to revive its spirit. As they broke through the last line of trees, the familiar sight of their town came into view, warm light spilling from homes like the embrace of loving arms. They turned, glancing back at the woods that had transformed them, the lessons seeping deep in their bones. Together, Ethan squeezed Lily's hand tighter. "We'll make them listen." With hearts full of hope and courage, they walked toward home, ready to face the challenges of school, family, and the world waiting outside. The stories of the forest had woven themselves into the fabric of who they were, igniting a fire of purpose and love to carry forth. As they reached the edge of the woods, a gentle breeze wrapped around them, as if the forest was sending them off with a final hug, a reminder of the magic inside and around them, awaiting their touch. Ethan glanced at Lily, her smile radiant. "This is just the beginning, huh?" "Yep," she beamed, excitement radiating through her small frame. "There's so much to share." And as they ran toward their awaiting adventure, the echoes of the past danced behind them, a song of hope trailing through the trees that would forever remember them. If you're moved by the magical journey of Ethan and Lily, you need to subscribe now to never miss a story that warms your heart. Leave a like now to support us and help spread positivity. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about this incredible adventure, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformative tale. Your support is what keeps our stories alive.